Boston Red Sox hit the field looking to get back on top of the American League East. We're breaking down every pitch all season long on Obi's Backstop Podcast, part of the CMG Sports Podcast Network. Do you have a 401k and some savings for future retirement, but don't even know if it's enough to live off of? How much is enough? How often are you thinking about it? The team at JPEX Financial Group can help set your mind at ease. We specialize in creating strategies in the planning and managing of your financial, educational, and investment needs. We help clients pursue their investment goals with sound financial strategies. You deserve a personal, tailored plan. Lasting, meaningful, and open relationships are the foundation of our practice. You've worked hard for your money and should feel confident in your investment choices as you make decisions for your financial future. Your goals are our goals. We are dedicated to your needs and hopes for your future. Visit our website and give us a call at 860-430-5397. Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Raymond James Financial Services Advisors, Inc. JPEX Financial Group, LLC is not a registered broker-dealer and is independent of Raymond James Financial Services. JPEX Financial Group is located at 78 Eastern Boulevard, Glastonbury, Connecticut.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hard Hitting Wrestling Show, the HHWShow podcast presented by Clovercrest Media. Visit HHWShow.com for the latest news, rumors, predictions, and everything about professional wrestling. And today or tonight, sad times, got to understand what life is and everything else. And unfortunately, the wrestling community is mourning over loss of a legend, Scott Hall. Scott Hall passed away yesterday, and it's sad, for the memories. And I know that a lot of people in social media of out there praying all weekend for his recovery, but unfortunately, it did not happen. And with news and everything else going on, it's just a sad moment in time. So before we even get started with our show, I want to take a moment of silence to remember Scott Hall. So please join with me as we celebrate his life as not only Scott Hall, but Razor Ramon, of everything he has done in professional wrestling. And there you have it. A little video of the late Scott Hall. Hector, what do you remember most about him?
I think his charisma when he first came out, into the WWE back in the '90s, taking on that role as Razor Ramon. I thought that right there was the start of was to become something big for him. Not only in the WWE but to wherever he was going to follow from there, and which he did follow into the WCW and made himself even bigger there. Under his real name, Scott Hall. And so, and just of course, the countless times, he's won the Intercontinental title and made that title relevant in the WWE, being the first wrestler to become a three-time Intercontinental champion and the first wrestler to become the four-time Intercontinental champion. So, I mean, that takes some kind of relevancy right there, even though he hasn't held that title more times than most, but when he had that title, it meant something, man. And that's why I have my title right over here, because he was one of the few that made that belt what it is today.
Right, talking about being prestigious and everything else, and we don't see that anymore in the WWE. No, with the Intercontinental Championship. As a matter of fact, we haven't even seen it defended for quite some time. I know Ricochet is the new champion, but what will they do from there on out to make that belt prestigious? Because everyone knows and seen, even the youths now, they could go back and watch the famous first ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship with Shawn Michaels. You know, if you wasn't standing on your feet watching that one, I know I was young watching that match. You know what I mean? Ladder match, them climbing up, and all these maneuvers. You see something for the very first time, and you're like, "Oh wow, man, we gotta see it again." And then you see others, and of course, you had the tag team division that elevated it to another level with the ladder match. But Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, however you do it, man, that was the era where Al Pacino was famous, man, with his movies,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
with
Scarface. Yeah.
Scarface, right? And you have a professional wrestler that's almost resembling the movie, going out, saying, "Hey yo," and then you walk around with a toothpick in your mouth, one on the ear, and then what? That was the style.
Yeah.
Everybody was styling that way.
Then you look at his hairstyle, like Grease back in the days, he got that little Jerry curl coming down. I mean, only he could have pulled it off, man. I don't think anybody else would have been able to, and he did it right, man.
Well, he definitely did it, man. And listen, he had his rivalries. I realized the 1-2-3 Kid was his tag team partner for a while. I know he had his rivalry with Stone Cold Steve Austin. What else? I'm trying to think at the top of my head exactly who else was his rivalry, but every time I go ahead.
I think Shawn Michaels was one of his rivals, especially when
right. That first big rivalry for him was with Shawn Michaels. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And it was pretty amazing the way he did things. And then that character that he tried to personify himself as when he went back to WCW, and then he formed that NWO with Kevin Nash and Hulk Hogan. That was spectacular. It blended in right.
Yeah.
Everything blended in. So, and Hulk Hogan mentioned something on his YouTube account, and I guess he was doing an autograph signing / party, and he kind of stopped everyone and wanted to take a moment to recognize Scott Hall, because he himself said it was Scott Hall that rejuvenated his character as back to Hollywood Hulk Hogan. It was him, because when I guess his career was declining, and remember that he left WWF at the time, or which is now WWE. And when he crossed over, he will also be the Hulk Hogan, the Hulkamaniacs back in WCW. And people were shocked about that. But it was more shocking is that he converted to be a heel. And he thanked Scott Hall for that. So he's giving all that credit to him. So there's just a lot of amazing things he has done. And as he got older and everything else, when he retired and everything, he traveled around the country doing autographs and just continue making people's faces smile. and especially our generation of watching it, we're trying to introduce it to the young ones and say, hey, this is Scott Hall. He's like, hey yo, right?
Mhm.
And watch this. If you paid attention to Monday Night Raw, Kevin Owens opened up with those two words. Hey yo, I mean, I wasn't convinced. Like it could have been somebody else, but it was him. Uh, I missed that, and I wish that all the superstars who came in at least say it before they do their gimmick and hey yo, so that was a good recognition.
Yeah.
Um,
He
but it's
knew
sad,
how
man.
he
Go
knew
ahead.
how to take that character and
Mhm.
carry it for wherever he went and made it this it was stood the same. So you knew heel or face, the bad guy was still the bad guy,
Yeah,
regardless. You know what I'm saying? Just like we talk about the
absolutely.
Undertaker's the bad guy, regardless.
Mhm.
Whether you loved him or hate him, and he was to play both sides, and that face always stood the same when he was a face or a heel. It never
That's right.
changed, and that's what's good about his character. It never
Mhm.
changed. I loved it.
I loved it too, man. And look, if there's anyone else that I mean, besides his family, of course, um, that I feel sorry for is Kevin Nash.
Yeah, yeah,
And thanking him because he tweeted out the situation, and Mark Merrill was there. Actually, Mark Merrill was the first one to put on social media asking for prayers and everything else. So Mark Merrill was also a former intercontinental champion. He is a motivation speaker. He had history um, with his life, but he was able to change his life around and to still be best friends with Scott Hall, excuse me. You know, it's a bond of brothers. They never let go, and especially when they travel around to entertain for everybody. You hear those stories of how it used to be and everything else, and to stay close. That speaks more than volume. But for the family, friends, and fans, once again, um, our
and
condolences. Go ahead.
you know, I just wanted to say this. For people that say wrestling is fake, okay, you have to understand something. Now, I know we talked about that wrestling is scripted, okay, but we don't know the the demons and the skeletons that these wrestlers or entertainers, whatever you want to call them, deal with behind closed doors. When they're
Mhm.
done entertaining us for 20, 30 minutes and go backstage, the pains that they deal with, that makes them sometimes addicted to the pills, and then the party life, because they're always away from home. So they always, trying to have that camaraderie with their brothers, that they
Mhm.
work with. So, we have to give them credit where credit is due, because these guys go through a lot, and the women too. But I think more of the men go through it. You know, they probably going through anxiety and depression. Separation, anxiety, all that kind of stuff, and then the road that they take. But they put a lot on the line just to entertain us. And we take that for granted sometimes, because the generational wrestlers, and for us, they're passing away.
Right.
Slowly for surely, it's becoming an extinct list here. And he was one of them. So, for people that say that wrestling is fake, I tell you what, you need to really do your research and do your homework, because this is just a prime example of what Scott Hall, he dealt with a lot. We
Yeah.
don't know
Yes.
everything. We don't know everything, but we know he's dealt with a lot. And we had people like Diamond Dallas Page who try to help him, you know, and try to get back on the right track. It's never too late to get back on the right track. And I know wasn't one of our takeaways, but it's just sad to say, it's sad to see that, people say that, oh, wrestling is fake. Why do you watch it? But then yet look at the documentaries of what these guys have to really deal with, and I thank them for entertaining me. And that's why I'm still
Mhm.
a fan at 48 years old. I'm still a fan because of what these guys do every day, and the women. I'm done.
You're getting old because you're 48. I mean, I see why you go bald because you don't have no white hair. So, looking at your chinny chin chin,
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, yeah. But uh, our condolences once again to the family, friends, and all the fans mourning. Scott Hall died yesterday, and We only hope for the best for everyone. And again, it's shocking, man. It
Yeah.
really is, especially when you're a diehard fan, especially in that era. And me growing up watching wrestling in the '80s and all the way through till today, you know what I mean? So, but talking about wrestling not being fake, Big E's injury on Friday
Yes.
Night SmackDown. Rich Holland went to try to do a body to body suplex and landed. Big E landed on his head,
Yeah.
and his neck went, and he had a injury from the C1 and the C6. So it's not to where he needs surgery, which is a good thing. So it's just a healing process. But those of you that don't know, please check and read HHWShow.com because it's in detail. Because I had to get back to my human anatomy books and everything else. The C1 really helps you move your neck left and right.
Yeah.
Okay. Your C2, which is connected to your C1, protects the C1. Okay. Your C6 is connected with the C5. So it's almost like in pairs, right?
Right.
But that's supposed to stabilize, your upper back. So like you could do this and everything else, right? So right now, from what I've read and everything else, and then my research, Biggie's in pain. I mean, this guy can't move at all. So imagine you waking up with a sore neck, right? Well, it's probably 10 times as worse for Big E.
Right.
Okay. And it's going to take some time. It might take at the minimum 8 weeks for him to even attempt to do something. And so I say to myself, let's double it 16 weeks. And maybe we may talk about Big E coming back to wrestling.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like. But a lot of people are backlashing at Rich Holland because this is not the first time that he's injured a superstar, especially his time with NXT. But you do know that he himself got injured by Ricochet with a broken nose.
Yep.
So it's a risk, and it's a risk. And I think this is the reason why when people go to the main roster, things get to be a little bit slower when it comes to these maneuvers.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah. You're absolutely
because
right.
it's all about longevity. Yes, and the rings are different from what I was told. And we did an interview with Gabby Ortiz, and she even said it that the rings that they use in independent, once she went up to AEW, the ring is bigger. So,
Right.
and I'm like, well, okay, now I can understand why it's so a little bit slower. They're not going slow, but when we look at it, it's like, well, why is it taking forever to get there?
Yeah.
When I'll be here in the local area, I'm like, these guys are flying left and right. You know what I mean? So, but again, it's like it's the real deal, man. They make their sacrifice, and yeah, you could get hurt. I mean, look at the Undertaker. What happened to him in Saudi Arabia with Goldberg? I mean, Goldberg almost paralyzed him. Matter of fact, he landed almost the same way as Big
Yeah.
E. Uh, it was fortunate for him that he didn't break his neck.
And we know
So
about Stone Cold with the pile driver. I mean,
yeah,
things like this happen, unfortunately, yes. And I think for Rich Holland, if he's having a history of doing this, is not doing it on purpose, maybe just need to go back and get retrained. I think that's what anybody in the job. You start losing focus on what you really need to be doing the right way. You need to
hmm
refocus and retrain. And I think that's what he did. From what I understand, he did go and visit Big E. I'm sure there was
yes,
a
he did.
heartfelt moment there. And
hmm
I'm sure he apologized. And I'm sure Big E, being the lighthearted spirit guy that he is, he probably forgave him, and probably just gave him some words of wisdom if he could have talked. But yeah, I
Right.
mean, it happens. It does happen, and good thing it wasn't worse than what it was. So
Yeah, absolutely, man. And like I said, when I replayed it, and then I showed my family, I had to rewind it. Look, see, and I had to tell them this is real. That's why you don't do it at home, okay?
yep,
Because these guys practice it all the time. Even when they practice, they still make mistakes.
yes, yeah,
No one's perfect, and it's just like I said, it's unfortunate that for Big E, what I didn't like, and maybe I didn't see it because the camera was out of the way, is once that happened, Butch or so-called Pete Dunne was right there. Okay. You mean I understand about staying character, but there's got to be a way where you signal right away, like, yo, that was a bad fall. Yo, get somebody over here. I feel like it could have been quicker to look at Big E, because I'm going to tell you this. The way he landed, something else could have happened. He could have had a seizure. He could have had anything, because remember, you're landing on the head was not to say that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Now I lost the words. He had a concussion, everything,
Yep.
and the way he's built, and you messed up your neck. You know what I mean? Like, sooner or later, what you don't want to break it. You want to, stabilize it before anything else happens. So I'm sure that they did what they had to do. I know whoever was there at the arena had it on Twitter, so they showed him going away, being carted off. So and again, prayers to Big E. Hopefully he's all right. I mean, I'm assuming he's getting better and better, and not exercising, because it's kind of hard to do, right?
Yeah.
We pretty much can't, because any force, there goes your neck, right? But I just, again, wrestling is real. So please, if you're not going to school for it, don't try that at home. I'm telling you that right now. So yeah, wrestling is real. But you know what else is real? Is WrestleMania is coming up, and we got the takeaway of Edge. But before we get started, let me go ahead and use my little beautiful PowerPoint slide that I love here. So here we go. So remembering once again, Scott Hall, rest in peace. And then Edge is our takeaway. We'll cover that next. But also we got pictures of Paul Heyman running away from Brock Lesnar. We talked about Big E. And then we're going to end it with Ricochet being the Intercontinental Champion. And what's next for the champ? And then lastly, of course, I will not forget, this weekend is Northeast Wrestling. I'm about to give my prediction on the event this Saturday. So, all right, you ready?
Let's do this, brother. Let's do this.
Well, you know what? I wish we could do it, but I'm still waiting for something. I really am. I'm still waiting.
Still waiting?
Yeah. This guy right here. Veer Mahaan is supposed to be, man, and he's aging by the minute. I'm telling you that right now. He's aging by the minute.
You know, when I saw the whole thing about Tom Brady retiring and coming back before Veer, I thought this was funny. I think our grandchildren, which I don't have any yet, are going to grow up still waiting for his return.
Oh man! Yeah. I mean, how many more returns can we get? You know,
I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't even know who this guy is. Everyone's talking about. Everyone's like hyping it, like, "Oh my god!" You know, and I'm like, "Well, who is this guy? I don't know him. Do you know him?"
I seen him once before in NXT.
Oh, that's the guy.
He was in a tag
Forget
team.
about. Oh, now I know who he is. You see, when they start changing names and everything else, I get lost, man. I was like, well, that tag team didn't last long anyways in NXT. Forget that they were chilling with Jinder Mahal.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, he's supposed to come back, but what are we waiting for?
Maybe Jinder Mahal's kid is going to introduce him when he gets older and becomes a superstar in the year 2040. I don't know. I mean, I have no idea.
Maybe Seth Rollins is going to challenge him. Maybe that's his only ticket. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Maybe Dominic Mysterio is going to be coming to Hall of Fame before Veer gets it.
Oh, stop it. Stop it. You know, if there's any wrestler that I want to put at the bottom of my list, is that kid right there, Dominic Mysterio, man. It's just something I'm not sold, man. I'm just not sold. Sorry.
Yeah,
it's a slower version of Rey Mysterio. That's all I see. I don't get it. He should be a jobber. Shouldn't even be Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, which, God, every time they show up, and I had a theory, man, not to interrupt myself on that one, but before Xavier Woods started showing up on the live shows for WWE, I was saying to myself, those two could help out Kofi Kingston, and make a 3-on-3 versus Sheamus, Rich Holland, and Butch.
Butch.
Butch, yeah, I know, right? I kind of like it though. I like it. It matches on. A lot of people don't like it. I kind of like it. I'm for it. I am. I'm
So
for it.
where's the Sundance Kid? If he's gonna be Butch,
Oh, that's the next one that's coming. You know, Sheamus is recruiting. He's making a big faction. This is gonna be bigger than NWO, man. It's bigger than the Shield.
his faction is gonna be all Grand Slam champions before Veer makes his return to the to Raw. We could go on all night about Veer.
You know what? Imagine this. Vince McMahon is planning this after WrestleMania. Okay, he's planning on having the Arabs versus the Europeans versus all kind of factions in the U.S. This is like the '80s wrestling coming up again.
All I want
Iron Sheik, Nikolai Volkov, right? Sergeant Slaughter.
bring back the Iron Sheik. Why not? I just want to know: are we going to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of the HHW show? Still talking about Veer making his return? I'm just saying. I'm just asking for a friend. I don't know. It's just
damn, bro. We only been doing this for almost 3 years.
I'm looking into the future here, I guess.
We're gonna be inducted to the Podcast Hall of Fame.
We're still waiting on Veer to show up.
Oh man.
Oh, that's a good, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. You got me all messed up right now.
And Veer's gonna take on Edge's old song. You think you know me? No, we don't know.
You don't know me.
You don't know. You don't know. Hey yo, you know? I don't know. And then the New Day's probably gonna be saying, who?
Maybe real albums come out.
Yeah, okay. Anyways.
Anyways. Yeah. Hey, this show is once again brought to you by the Clovercrest Media. Visit clovercrestmedia.com. Also, hey, check us out on our website, HHWShow.com, and then you follow us on Twitter. And in case you missed it and you want more about our podcast and you want to listen to it on the road, by all means, tune into your favorite podcast platform and you can listen in to HHW Show. And we're getting ready for the road to WrestleMania, which is happening on the first weekend of April. And this is it right here, man. This is our takeaway with Edge. Edge came out with a new appearance, with a new theme song. And these are the lyrics right here that we're going to get into right now. And Hector, we've been talking about this before the show started. Like, we were really intrigued by the new look of Edge. So can you tell us more about Edge and what you found out?
You know, this whole new Edge, that I listened to last night, it's like you had to listen to it more than one time on what he was saying, just to get a better understanding of what he's trying to get at. But last night, it didn't seem like he was talking to AJ Styles at all. I felt like he was talking to us, the fans, and it started getting me to think, about two different words that share similar characteristics. And I thought about the words arrogance and confidence, because them two words have similar characteristics when you talk about assertiveness and their willingness to speak of one's mind. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what Edge did last night to us. He wasn't talking to AJ Styles, because this whole new Edge comes out to a whole different theme song that we don't know. I'm kind of digging it, but to get a better understanding of him, I had to literally look up the words to see what these words were talking about, and look at, you got it up there. It starts off saying, just step into the dark. It's waiting. Take your vow. It's time. Okay. So is this time for the new Edge to show up? Because Edge in that segment right there in the blue, he got the neon lights blue going on there. He came out and said, he opened up saying, I am better than everyone. He was talking about everyone in that locker room. Okay. And this is the new Edge speaking, which is kind of weird. Okay. It's time for you to meet your maker, playing God tonight. Now, that kind of got me there, saying playing God tonight, because in his segment last night, he says he now sits perched on his mountain of omnipotence. And for people that don't know what that word omnipotent means, I had to look it up. The quality of having unlimited or very great power. So you're talking about he's playing God tonight. He's talking about he stands on top of everything and everybody, you see? And that the old Edge gave in to the fans, pleasing the fans, and that's what made the old Edge weak. Okay, and this new Edge is not going for that, because he is not here to please anybody. Okay, and that it what's crazy is I think he kind of like, I don't know, he I think he's like a hypocrite in a way, because it's like he says that he won't be judged by anyone in the locker room, but yet he will judge us. Like, who are you? You know what I'm saying? To say that. To me, that right there is arrogance. I can understand in a way that, the confidence in him saying that I'm better than everybody in the locker room. Okay, I can get that. You want to be able to stand up for yourself and think that you are better than everybody else. Okay. But as he kept on going and going and everything, that it's just this new persona of his, like he realized that we don't matter to him, and that he will not be, like I said, he won't be judged by anyone in the locker room. But he said he'll be the one to pass the verdict around here. Like this is his whole stage now. And he's the one who's going to play judge, jury, and executioner to everybody, even the wrestlers in the locker room, because he made mention about, the old Edge wrestling Randy Orton and how he tore his tricep from the bone, how the outcome went with Seth Rollins, causing him the Universal title, the match with Roman Reigns in the triple threat at WrestleMania when he got stack pinned. He said, it's pretty much like the new Edge. This would have never happened. To me, this is all arrogance and cockiness, because when you think about arrogance, okay, you're talking about exaggerating sense of one importance and ability. And I think that's what he's doing here. He's taking this a little too far, in my opinion, and I think he's woken up a beast inside AJ Styles. And I can't wait to verbally hear what AJ Styles have to say, because, yeah, we may have a different edge, but you done woken up a beast inside that little man. And I think the Goliath is going to come out of AJ Styles. And this is going to be one heck of a match at WrestleMania between these two. And I can't wait to see it. So
I noticed that when he's saying playing God tonight, and it's that lyrics in there kind of reminds me of Roman Reigns on SmackDown when he's already saying I'm on God mode.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like where do we, I guess this is the new direction for WWE about being dominant, the dominance of one brand, and you only could create someone else. And the way I see it, and especially, God is the creator. That's how I see it, right? We all see it that way. Though the guys that are into the Bible and everything else, God is the creator. He took them 6 hard working days, and on the 7th day he took rest and then continue on. Is Edge really the God of WWE Raw? And because no one stepped up to the plate to challenge him, only one person did. Is he trying to recreate AJ Styles? Is it the one of those matches where finally we'll see WrestleMania, them two going at it, and then at the end of the match, we're gonna see a brand new AJ Styles afterwards? Go ahead.
I just feel like Edge is trying to prove something to himself. Because like I said, I'm not a fan of him coming back after being inducted to the Hall of Fame, and I know our cohort, Frank, said that, he didn't leave on his own terms, which I can understand that, so I think he's trying to prove to himself that he is better than what he used to be before he went into the Hall of Fame, before he won all those championship belts, because he was pleasing us, but he's not pleasing himself, you see? So
right.
Maybe this is I think this is more for himself, but he's just done something to awaken AJ Styles. And now this is just going to make it even, better for the both of them, honestly. But I think more for himself than for AJ Styles in this sense.
Okay. Edge could have been probably as close as John Cena as being like the guy to break the record. I think he could have been that guy, because Edge to me was probably more favored than anybody else. I mean, this guy was the major spotlight, right? And he's fused with John Cena and everything else. I mean, he captured gold quite often. And you're right, and I agree with Frank on that point. I know you don't like Hall of Famers coming back, but I think we should give Edge an exception because he's still in shape. He doesn't look like he's old. I mean, his appearance at times look old, but now he got a new look, and like yourself, you got that chinny chin chin of yours. Um, I mean, this guy's athletic and he's making it happen. He hasn't lost his ways in the ring. You know what I mean? Of course, we won't see Edge flying. And of course, as soon as he gets hurt, he's gonna take more time to heal than when he was younger. And but I like this. I do agree for Edge to return. I like this new look. We don't have to hear the same old Edge, with the same theme song. And I think that's why a lot of people didn't like the way John Cena returned, because of the fact he came with the same old gimmick, the same old song, and Roman Reigns exploited that, right? But I like this. But I'm curious to see if what direction, well, not say if, what kind of direction this is going to lead to. Because is this favoring Edge or just favoring AJ Styles? And here's a quote here. Before we move on, I'd like to put AJ Styles in there because he had a response on this one. And he goes, and let me go ahead and zoom it up real quick. And he says, and on Twitter, exercise judgment, grant mercy, sitting on a mountaintop of omnipotence. Excuse me, omnipotence. Don't know where you got this garbage, but one thing I will grant you is fair warning. I'm coming back to WWE Raw next week, and you better prepare yourself. Stupid haircut, dramatic lighting, and all. And so there you have it. And in response to WWE's Twitter, and WWE quoted Edge saying that AJ Styles, if you make it to WrestleMania, you will be judged. So, who's this favorite to? Is it favored for Edge or is it favored for AJ Styles?
In this sense, I think it favors AJ Styles, in my opinion, because to me, I don't. This is just me. I don't feel like AJ needed this match with Edge to put him up on that pedestal, because he's been around the world and won championships everywhere he's gone, and he's already a Grand Slam champion in the WWE in the short time he's back. But I think this favors him more because now this is going to push him over, just like he stepped into that ring, the match, I would say, at WrestleMania for The Undertaker to help him solidify the end of his career. I think this is now the roles are reversed here, and I think that's why I feel it's more for AJ Styles. But see, for Edge to say, you will be judged, that's where the hypocrisy comes in, because Edge said he will not be judged by anyone in the locker room, but yet here you are saying that you're going to judge AJ Styles. See, you can't. To me, that's being a hypocrite. We're not supposed to be judging.
Is he really judging him? Because again, we're talking about the lyrics of the song. We're talking about all the, I want to say all the stuff he's saying. All the clues that he's trying to get out. You mentioned it earlier that he's talking about to his old Edge, right? Is the message geared to just him alone and not really directed to AJ Styles? Maybe we got this all wrong. Maybe there's this big miscommunication.
Right.
But to me, from what is explained with the lyrics and what he's saying, that it's about him. It's not really about AJ Styles. But yet now that AJ Styles confronted Edge, he's like, what? You just going to be a bitch about it? What? Where's this old AJ Styles at? Where's the aggressive? It goes back to the original ruthless aggression that Vince McMahon want his superstars to be.
Right.
The same way John Cena came facing Kurt Angle. I think I would have referred to this picture to Austin Theory, because I believe Austin Theory is the next guy. Give it 4 more years, he's going to be the face of WWE. I said that even when he entered NXT. I was like, this guy looks like John Cena already. His body is built that way and everything else. I mean, he started off like the bad guy, and now he's going to be the good guy pretty soon, So, but anyways, I think this is going to change AJ Styles to be a better person, to be better, aggression. And really, after this match, and I'm predicting it right now, AJ Styles is going to win, and he's going to move on to be the next WWE champion on Raw.
Yeah,
That's what it's geared to.
I agree with that too. I mean, I think that's what's best for Raw, honestly. We're quickly going back to what you're saying. I do believe, listening and reading the lyrics, that the new Edge is talking to the old Edge. I do believe that, because in part of the lyrics it says, if you believe yours is the only way, then you're the fool who lives to die. Okay, and that says that in the song. So I believe he's telling the old Edge, if you believe that your way was the only way, then you're the fool. And some people may not be in tune with, these wrestlers changing their music, but you have to be able to fit in today's age and what's going to work. And if that means you change, if you're going to change your ways, you change your music too, then so be it. It worked back in the day where your same theme song was going to be you forever,
Right.
but in today's age, things must change. And I get change is good sometimes.
If your
And for
character changes, so your music got to
right.
change. Right?
And so
Look
yeah,
at Seth Rollins,
yeah,
changed it.
yeah,
Look at Roman Reigns, which
yes,
Roman Reigns said
yes,
it will take time for him to get his new theme song,
yeah.
and it happened.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't like is these remixes, bro. These remixes don't fun. Like Damian Priest, I like his. His is completely redone. I like his, but like Sami Zayn's, come on, man.
No, I think
Sami
it works.
Zayn is going back to his original. Once he becomes the good guy, his original theme song is going to come back because it's epic. You can't when the fans are singing it and you have the whole entire arena singing, you can't lose that. Just saying, you can't lose it.
Yeah, and see, I don't like it when you go from face to heel, heel to face, and you keep changing your theme. It's good for people like Roman and for Seth and for especially Edge, who's been in the business for a long time, and we've known that song "You Think You Know Me," but then for him to change it after so many years, almost over decades, and it finally changes, that works. But for Sami
Right.
Zayn to change from blah 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 blah, it doesn't work. Look at Charlotte Flair, heel or face, it's still that theme. May not have no words to it, but it's that theme that you know who it is, and
Well,
you
you don't
respect
never
that
know what
character.
you're gonna get out of Charlotte Flair, though. Really,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
that's what's so amazing of what her character is, because she could be a bitch or she could be, you know,
yeah.
straight. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna get that hi, that glamorous look. You're not getting that. She's gonna tell you off.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, more on that. And,
Yeah,
and again, I appreciate that you bringing those lyrics, because now you got me thinking. I need to re-listen to that music and get that feel of it. But let's see if that what we say matches for the next Monday Night Raw when AJ Styles enters the ring and confronts Edge, because this is going to be very, very interesting, much
yes,
indeed. But hey, WrestleMania is coming up once again the first weekend of April. You look at that face right there. This is the main event right here: Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. All right, that's I'm excited because this is the match, and I'm just curious on this one because of Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman ran away. Okay, ran away. No one's there to protect them. No one got ambushed, and that's it. I mean, we could probably see Brock Lesnar still driving, chasing Paul Heyman somewhere. I don't know. They can make a movie out of this, but definitely, I'm very interested to see. I want to know what angle Paul Heyman is going to do for this main event.
yeah. He's to me the wild card in this. I'm digging the new Brock Lesnar because we're seeing a little more vulnerability in this Brock Lesnar. Unlike the Beast incarnate, we didn't see no vulnerability there. We're actually seeing somebody who is mortal and that can be touched and can bleed. And I like that. And so even if that means putting over Roman Reigns a little bit more than what he used to, it still I think works. I mean, to the point where it's hard to really make a decisive decision who's really going to win this match because the way these two have really been going at it. And
watch
the
this.
way
You ready?
Brock Lesnar. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, man.
I'm ready.
Hey, watch this. You ready for this? remember WrestleMania when John Cena and The Miz fought in the main event of WrestleMania and The Rock had to restart the match? You remember that? Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Yep.
speechless right now. There you go. I know you're kind of frozen on me right now, but was not to say that this match, right, results in a count out, double count out. Somebody comes and restart it, and Paul Heyman has to make a decision, like he made a decision at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Could that?
That's
I'm just
with
saying because
with
he's
Paul
saying that
Heyman, anything's
I love you,
possible.
and everything else to Brock Lesnar, which has surprised me. I mean, dude, you just turned your back on him, and now you're saying that you love him, you love him, you love him, and everything. Are you saying that out of panic, or are you saying that you're true? And then I'm going back to that private interview he had on SmackDown Talk, where he's saying there's a possibility of Paul Heyman retiring. So I'm trying to piecemeal everything together. Paul Heyman got something going on, man.
Yeah, he's got a lot up his sleeve that is very hard to figure out. He's like the modern day Riddler here, and we can't figure him out for nothing. Is he going to turn? Because we know that he has a habit. He has a history of just stabbing his clients in the back. And
Right.
he done stab Brock Lesnar multiple times in the back. And he did it just for a little while. He did it to Roman Reigns. So yeah, to me, he's the one that's going to be the decisive factor here. So we really don't know. At whatever game he's playing it very well. He's playing the game of chess so well, we can't figure out his next move, to where it almost like we can figure out Brock and Roman versus we can't figure out Paul Heyman.
Right.
What if
and that's good.
Okay, what if Paul Heyman brings out Veer? I know, right? Delete me. Go ahead. Pull Frank. But hey.
All right then.
we've been waiting on Veer forever.
Oh, dude, your beard's gonna grow even longer, man. But hey, other matches there. We mentioned Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey. We got the Raw Women's Championship, Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair. Then Stone Cold Steve Austin, Kevin Owens. Hey, dude, I'm gonna tell you something about this, man. How you gonna claim that that's your best friend, right? And Seth Rollins had this idea. Seth Rollins has this idea. Yo, let's wrestle, and if I win, I'll take over your show. That's pretty much what he said. I'm gonna take over your show. How you gonna say, how can you be friends?
That's not being a friend. That's being jealous. To me, that's just being desperate. You'll do anything just to get what you want. But then for him to say that WrestleMania needs him, sorry there, buddy.
I know I keep mentioning his name, but didn't we not hear that from the 16-time champ? And then he found himself by himself until the last minute, and then Undertaker squashed him in so fast. I was like, it was just a waste of my time watching this match. But hey, it is what it is. But I can't wait because Stone Cold Steve Austin already replied back saying he will be there. All right. So could this be a match or could this be just a stunner? We'll have to wait and see because that's the opening of WrestleMania. We got the tag team going on between the Mysterios, the Miz, and Logan Paul. You have a triple threat match. Now, I'm curious about this because this triple threat match, I had thought it was going to change into a fatal four-way because how can you have this without Natalya? I'm just saying. Yeah. But hey, it is what it is. But don't sleep on Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley on this match. I'm just going to say that right now. Don't sleep on them. I know that the tag team belts will change. I do not see the Queen or Carmella retaining it, and the fact that there is some animosity between them two now because Carmella was all over her fiance while Zelina was getting her ass whooped in the ring. So I'm just saying, and she stared her down hard. So that's we got to wait to be seen on that, but don't sleep on them. Don't sleep. I know Sasha Banks and Naomi, they got an agenda. They want to be tag team champions, but there's also WrestleMania Backlash. Just saying. We're ready to talk about Edge and AJ Styles. We're gonna have to wait till the next Monday Night Raw. Then you have Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville. Then the interesting part here, Austin Theory and Pat McAfee. I mean, dude, how many times are you gonna smack in the face and not do nothing about it? I'm just I'll be careful. If I was Austin Theory, I'll be careful because Pat McAfee does know how to wrestle. I don't think he got the memo when he faced Adam Cole. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Austin Theory just putting his foot so far down his throat. It's not even funny. I mean, what was his business last night on Raw? You know, and Finn Balor. I mean, dude, you're biting off more than what you can chew right now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Could they merge and be a fatal four-way for the United States Championship? That'd be pretty cool. Just saying.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Drew McIntyre and Happy Corbin. Yeah, that's cool. It's cool. We're gonna talk about that more later on, next week or so. But not today, man. Not today. But there's still more matches supposed to be created, more match cards, but those are the latest right now that are official for WrestleMania 38. So I'm excited. I can't wait. I'm gonna love it. I wish it was here already, to be honest with you. I really not care much. Like I said, I'm only focused on one match, and that is the main event. But here's our counterpart, Frank. Hey, Frank, how you doing? Relaxing, huh? I see that. Yeah. Good job, man. Hey, man, I'll hit you up later, okay? All right.
Yeah.
See ya. Yeah. Hey, still to come, man. We got Northeast Wrestling, Hector, and Northeast Wrestling is on fire right now. And guys, I'm telling you that if if you live in the New England area, you want to go see these events, go tune into HHWShow.com to find out the latest match cards for Northeast Wrestling, or you could just go to northeastwrestling.com and get your tickets and go see these events. All right. But this weekend, it's going to be spectacular. Yes, not stupendous, spectacular. All right. And to go on with the heavyweight championship on the line, Dan Moff versus Richard Holiday. Dan Moff, I'm predicting he's going to win. This guy, I've seen him wrestle a couple of times, but he does not have what it takes to get onto this, a true heavyweight person, man. Dan Moff is a beast. Okay. He is a beast, and he I feel sorry for Richard Holiday. That's all I'm gonna say, man. But he is the Northeast heavyweight champion. He's gonna take care of business on that one. Next, the Waves and Curls are the new tag team champions. They won about a month ago. They faced Brick City Boys. I got to see them in another promo, okay, and another promo in Massachusetts, and Brick City Boys actually won. Okay, and dude, these Brick City Boys, they know punks, man. They know how to get down to business. I'm gonna tell you this. My prediction is gonna be a disqualification.
Okay.
Just to protect the Waves and Curls. Okay. And I know this big event going on at Six Flags this summer with Northeast Wrestling. And I think, and I have a gut feeling that the Waves and Curls are not going to have the titles that long. But be prepared, man. I won't be surprised if Brick City Boys win. But I got a gut feeling, man, that it'll be a disqualification protecting Waves and Curls. But let's see what happens there. Flip Gordon versus Brad Hollister. Brad Hollister is coming up from a loss with Dan Moff. He's trying to rebound, but Flip Gordon is a fan favorite, probably the number one superstar. But I got to give Brad Hollister the victory on this one. That's my prediction. I think he's trying to bounce back to get his title, whether it's the new live title or the heavyweight championship. Excuse me. JT Dunn versus Max Caster. I haven't seen Max Caster wrestle before, but JT Dunn I have. He is not a favorite. He's Hollister, him and Hollister, they're boys. But I give it to Max Caster. He looks like he's ready to rumble, especially with his headphones. I don't know. He might be tuning in for a victory. So Willow Nightingale versus Tina San Antonio. Now, I like Tina San Antonio. I've seen her wrestle here. We actually saw her on Shine, but I also seen her at different independent wrestling. She is the bomb. She can make it happen. But here's a problem. Willow Nightingale, she is getting a lot of fame on social media, and she wrestles men. Okay, she wrestles men. Now she did come out of loss there in Massachusetts, but and she hops around in different wrestling promos. Her coming over here, we might get her on the show. I'm not sure yet, but I got a feeling Willow Nightingale is going to win this match. I really do. Uh, Tag team, we got Channing Thomas and Vike Verna. Verna was the former new live champion, going against Chris Battle and Hunter Tarka. Ah, wow. Chris Battle is actually one of the favorites in Northeast Wrestling. Hunter Tarka, I haven't seen match yet, but when it comes to Channing Thomas and Vike Verna, these guys, they are explosives, and those two have an agenda. They're both very independent on different wrestling promos. I'm gonna give my victory to Thomas and Verna on this one. KC Navarro and RJ Rude. RJ Rude, he is from the original tag team with his brother. He's going solo on this one, so I think he's trying to redeem himself. But KC Navarro, he looks like a quick dude. I like his red hair on top. Look like a rooster, I guess. I want to know. I mean, roosters don't fly, do they?
No, and I'm sure he doesn't. No. He don't look like the Red Rooster.
No. From Looney Tunes.
From the WWF.
Oh no, but I don't know him. But I'm gonna go for RJ Rude, and I know my boy. He got a lot of fans, even though he could be good or a bad guy, but he has a fan base in Northeast Wrestling. So I'll give it up to Rude. Other appearances, Brian Anthony, he's the one that won the Over the Top. That was the main event, Over the Top. That's when I got to see the formerly known as Braun Strowman. So he was there. So he came out victorious, a sneaky way, but he got the job done. And then also March 27th, which is the following week, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Dude, Crosby High School in Waterbury, Connecticut, we get to see the Hardy Boys versus Enzo and Big Cass, John Morrison, Tony Storm, Tava Valkyrie, and Wrecking Ball Legursky. Wrecking Ball Legursky is the hometown favorite from Southington, Connecticut, and he's going to be spot on there. I'm going to tell you right now, this is the event you want to go see. And I'm definitely going to be there. I'm ready, man. I'm definitely ready. So it's going to be some good old wrestling. And then the following month, yes, the Hardys are coming back again. This time they're going to face off against John Morrison and Flip Gordon. So it's some awesome wrestling here in the state of Connecticut. So if you live around here, get your tickets. I'll be there. The HHW show will be there. So you got to represent. Yes, sir. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
It's good stuff. I mean, we got a lot of, up and coming talent there, you know what I'm saying? And of course, we see some past superstars that we are familiar with. It's good to see John Morrison still around and doing his thing. So I'm sure him and the Hardy Boys, they're going to be out there and, entertain the fans like they used to back in the WWE days.
Yeah. And last week, Jeff Hardy actually debuted AEW.
Yes.
So I think it was what's today? Yeah. Last Wednesday, he debuted AEW. And he came to rescue his brother from Andrade.
Oh, yeah. Everybody turned on Matt that day.
Well, Matt, Andrade, there's just something off on him, man. I know he's trying to speak English. He just needs more practice. I think he could get away with just speaking Spanish. I mean, nowadays, people could just press the SAP button. So I'm surprised they haven't done that already. But yeah, man, I'm just surprised. But yeah, man, WrestleMania, we got Northeast Wrestling, And then there's other independent wrestling going on, so we're definitely going to tune in. And of course, we're trying to get some more guests over to the HHW Show podcast. It's going to be brilliant, man. These next couple of months is going to be fire.
Yes, it is. And I don't know, real quick, have you ever heard of this other independent wrestling that it's kind of, I don't know, trying to make a name for himself called Control Your Narrative? I mean, this is some kind of weird. They're going to be here in Dallas on March 31st, and I'm really trying to look into this. And a lot of people talking about this independent type of wrestling can, become a disaster before it even gets off the ground. It has a lot of former faces that we know. It has a big
Braun Strowman, Karen Cross. I don't know who the third guy is.
I think the EC3.
Oh no, that's EC3. Yes, yes.
And so it's more like wrestling mixed with narrative, storytelling, darkness. It's kind of a weird. They're trying to create their own independent type wrestling, but I guess it's called Control Your Narrative. And if you go on YouTube, you'll be able to find one of their actual shows that they've done, and it's just a whole different type of wrestling. It's just kind of weird to see. Compared to what we're used to watching nowadays.
There it is right here.
Yeah. So the Awakening, I'm not going to be able to attend that, but I mean, it's just, they're trying to get around and try to do something with themselves, just to keep themselves active, I guess.
I'm going to assume the narrative is this to tell your story.
Yeah.
So I used to read books, right? So you read a chapter and then at the end it says, well, do you want this guy to turn left? Go to page 55. If you go turn right, go to page 100.
Exactly. Yeah. I've read a lot of books like that growing up, and you'd be surprised the different outcomes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's your own narrative books. Maybe that's it right there, man. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's one narrative. Do you want me to slap him? Or do you want me to throw him?
Right. So it's kind of interesting to see this kind of wrestling being taking place now, but it's a whole complete independent wrestling promotion, and it's good to see that these wrestlers are still trying to do something and create something different and new. Maybe it works. Maybe it might. Maybe not. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. We'll see. But Hector, man, I appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you very much, man. This is awesome talk. Man. I guess Frank went AWOL, man. Frank went AWOL. So
I think he's looking for Veer.
You think so?
I think so. He might have had a Veer sighting in Florida somewhere. I'm just saying. If anybody finds Veer, let us know. Because
Frank will do it.
We've all found Waldo. Now we're trying to find Veer. So I don't know. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Oh. That's what I'm saying.
Got him. Got him.
That's what Frank would say if he found him. Got him.
Well, we're about to end the show, and we're going to go ahead and play his Scott Hall's theme song and then our outro. Once again, thank you for listening to the HHW Show podcast. Tune in every Tuesday to the road to WrestleMania, and of course the weekend before WrestleMania, we'll make our predictions, and after WrestleMania we're going to tune in to see who is the true Divas champion. So you'll be surprised which superstars made our list as we get set for our new season after WrestleMania. So on behalf of Hector, Frank, and myself, I'm Ovi Muniz. Thank you for watching. Have a great night, everyone, and let's enjoy some wrestling.